Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day everyone. Welcome to another day of learning and welcome to Institute of Global Professional Pre-International webinar. Thank you all for joining with us in this marvelous session and I hope you stay with us till the program ends. And time to time you share our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel. Every day some new participants join with us. So I have to give little concept about IGP. Institute of Global Professional is an educational institution provides social work with globally recognized. We organize our webinar, training, online, offline courses, etc. by best and train speaker and courses from all over the world. Our mission is to empower people and enhance. We have already completed our 784 webinars successfully. Today I will be presenting webinar number 785 and the topic is ICT integration in mathematics instruction. Today we have a two speaker from Philippines. Today our first speaker name is Crystal Sahili. She is a special science teacher one from Malay National High School. Welcome our speaker to the screen. Hello ma'am, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you ma'am. Ma'am, give a short description about yourself, then you can start your presentation.
Okay, so good day, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. I, together with my colleague, Ms. Churchill Gombok, Teacher 3, will be talking about the ICT integration in mathematics instruction in the Philippine education setup. But allow me first to introduce myself. I am Crystal Arcahilig, a special science teacher 1, teaching mathematics at Malay National High School, District of Malay Aklan, Philippines. Okay, so before we continue our discussion, let us first go over the objectives of this presentation, which are first, to define ICT integration in mathematics instruction, identify the benefits of integrating technology in teaching mathematics, and navigate examples of support instructional materials with ICT integration. So let's begin. So before the pandemic, the integration of technology in teaching mathematics is already observed not only in Malay National High School but also in other schools in the Philippines. Studies have revealed how ICT integration can make a difference in the teaching learning process. Thus, whenever possible, Filipino teachers make use of this integration in hope of improving teaching results. As revealed in these photos, the students in our school are learning mathematics concepts through hands-on, minds-on, and game-based activities supervised and facilitated by the subject teachers. In the height of the pandemic, face-to-face classes were suspended. During that time, the use of technology was even more highlighted and as it served as the only means for the teachers to discuss lessons with their students. The modular distance learning approach was the learning modality used by the school, but to ensure learning, the teachers extended their effort by conducting classes through video conferencing. Here are some of the photos sent by parents as an evidence of their children's class participation. So information, communication, and technology, or ICT integration in mathematics education, provides mathematics teachers with integrative teaching methods that motivate students' learning, support their independent learning, and active participation in the discovery of mathematics concepts and topics, and as a result, helps them have a deeper understanding of the mathematical ideas. Incorporating technology in mathematics classrooms enables educators to craft powerful collaborative learning experiences that support problem solving and flexible thinking. With strategic integration of both content specific and content neutral technology, students and teachers can construct their learning together in authentic ways and elevate mathematics learning. Strategic use of technology in the teaching and learning of mathematics is the use of digital and physical tools by the students and teachers in thoughtfully designed ways and at carefully determined times so that the capabilities of the technology enhance how students and educators learn, experience, communicate, and do mathematics. Technology must be used in this way in all classrooms to support all students' learning of mathematical concepts and procedures, including those that students eventually employ without the aid of technology. Strategic uses support effective teaching practices and are consistent with research in teaching and learning. ICT has an essential role in the school system. As a result, several governments around the world have begun to include ICT into their education and curriculum. Imagining the potential of the available technology for learning with the context that it will be taught in is the first step in integrating technology in the classroom. Not all ICT tools and resources that are out there develops ICT capability, and as ICT capability is best developed in meaningful context, it is integrating ICT in education. So, you need to select the appropriate ICT tools. So this in the picture is the K-12 curriculum guide in mathematics of the Department of Education in the Philippines. We can see here the list of all the learning competencies and the suggested learning materials to be used by the teachers. By looking at this guide, teachers can study each competency and decide what appropriate ICT tool is best to use. Integrating ICT in education is an instructional choice by you, a teacher, and it involves collaboration and deliberate planning in addition to always having you as the teacher to participate. The integration of ICT in education is when you, as the classroom teacher, use ICT to introduce, reinforce, extend, enrich, assess, and remediate student mastery of curricular targets. Information and communication technologies is a set of techniques, developments, and devices derived from new application in information, media, and communication channels. It caused a great change in the delivery of instruction in education. Adapting to this new technology is a process that is taking place slowly, but which is allowing many teachers to improve the quality of teaching. Here are some of the benefits of, of integrating ICT in teaching mathematics. First, motivation to students. Many research claims that the use of ICT in education has a positive impact on students' motivation to learn, such as leading them to positive attitude, increasing their enjoyment, self-esteem, independence, and confidence in the learning process. According to the study conducted by Shung Hoi and Kevin, students are more motivated to learn with the use of ICT because of the following: enhancement of enjoyment and interest of topic presented, decreased feedback time, allowed the opportunity for students to choose and control their learning pace, as well as increased of self-esteem, independence, and confidence in the learning process. Using different kind of tools in teaching mathematics added motivation to the students. The use of technologies like graphical calculators and educational applications helps the students to be focused, self motivated, relate the subject to real life situations, experiment, and investigate different scenarios. Second is a generation of interest. It is said that the present generation is a generation of interest. The students prefer to spend more time to activities that they are interested to. A number of previous researchers indicated that students' mathematics interest is low because most of them have perceived that mathematics is very difficult, boring, not very practical, and have many abstract theorems that were very hard to understand. Technology provides dynamic opportunities for instruction in mathematics. We can enhance the learning process and make concepts come alive through engaging and interactive media. We can bring videos, animations, interesting movies, and other media into the learning process to help our students develop skills and understandings. And it can help to motivate and excite our students about their learning. The use of information and communication technology, or ICT, encourages students to learn. Technology helps children study more effectively. They become fascinated by technological tools and inspired to learn more efficiently in the classroom or at home. So, according to Davis and Turl, as cited by Nur ul Almin 2014, ICTs have the potential to innovate, accelerate, and deepen skills, to motivate and engage students, to help create school experience to work practices, create economic viability for tomorrow's workers, as well as strengthening teaching and helping school change. Next is a greater level of cooperation. So incorporating technology in mathematics classrooms enables educators to craft powerful collaborative learning experiences that support problem solving and flexible thinking. With strategic integration, students and teachers can construct their learning together in authentic ways that elevate mathematics learning. Technologies provide a wide range of tools and functions that can support students' learning of mathematics, as well as the development of their mathematical and collaborative practices. It allows them to have fun and still learn in modern ways. Learning can be done through gamification, online resources, and others. Technology enables math students to participate in the learning process and achieve their academic goals. The next it is power creativity. The virtual world offers many learning tools that stimulate students' creativity. Proper use of various technologies, especially computers, in the teaching and learning of mathematics has the potential of helping learners to develop their creativity. The technologies can provide an atmosphere under which mathematical skills can be extended beyond the ability to calculate or reproduce problems and enable learners to investigate, analyze, and interpret problems at hand. According to a study conducted by Balarabe 2015, with ICT, learners can use an experimental approach to deal with mathematical problems, which can lead to conjecture, pattern finding, examples and counterexamples. And in fact, if used effectively, computational aids can help in improving learners' intellectual ability and hence mathematical achievement while fostering the requisite creativity not found in the traditional approach. Next, ICT also improves communication. So, one of the objectives of mathematics learning is to improve mathematical communication skills. Communicating skills is the ability of the students to express their ideas, describe, and discuss mathematical concepts coherently and clearly. If students communicate their thinking in a variety of ways orally, visually, and in written form in mathematics, Then students will have a better understanding of the concepts and will be able to explain their thinking. Integrating technology in mathematics teaching offers students a variety of ways of communicating their ideas. They can use different tools like Desmos and MyViewBoard to name some. No. And by using these tools, they can easily express their thoughts and ideas. Next is critical thinking. So according to Soren Ramasubu 2015, logical mathematical intelligence may be formally defined as the capacity to reason, calculate, apply logic, think critically, and sometimes abstractly, all of which draw their basic principles from mathematics. Technology can support in developing mathematical intelligence through a dynamic software, anchored instruction, network devices, participatory simulations, games, and construction kits. Teacher can use technology tools to create these activities that help students develop both lower level and higher level critical thinking skills. Multiculturalism. One of the most interesting advantages posed by ICT is that the space and time barriers are broken down. Technology is one effective method because it facilitates acceptance by encouraging cooperative learning and equal communication opportunities. Technology can assist the teacher in crossing the language barrier that exists in a diverse classroom. It provides teachers with tools to address equity and access issues, to accelerate students' linguistic and conceptual development, to provide support for students who learn in different ways, and to create authentic and meaningful learning experiences. Thus, multiculturalism is no longer a learning barrier through the aid of ICT. ICT also makes learning fun and interesting. So, math can be an exciting and fun subject with the integration of the ICT. Effective teachers can use technology in creative ways to help students' engagement with math. Visualization of the subject with the use of ICT helps the students to feel more engaged. It is one of the best and effective ways for students to advance their mathematical skills. Visual interaction helps with symbolic calculation for visual concepts and allows students at all levels. Technology will enable learners to interact with all the mathematical concepts. Students can explore and experience various discoveries, such as digital tools, simulations, and games. So, when should we integrate technology in our teaching? So, perhaps the best answer to this question might be whenever it helps. That might seem simple, but let us consider the alternative when it doesn't help. So the complexity of integrating technology begs us to identify the positives and negatives, weigh those two, and be sure we're focused on what's best for students. Here are some of the questions to be considered in integrating technology in teaching. First, will this help all students think and learn more deeply? So deep learning constitutes the three top levels of Bloom's taxonomy: the analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. At these levels, students have fully owned the knowledge or skills they have been learning and so can solve new complex problems. At the deep learning level, technology tools are used to show evidence of learning, analysis, abilities, and etc. One way of introducing deep learning is having students to do what teachers do. Much tools or activities like making a video, lab experiment, and project to the content they're going to deliver. The next question is, will this technology lead to non-productive struggle and frustration? So one of the most biggest distractors of technology is the technology fails. They are frequent, inevitable, and frustrating. So this reason alone is why should teachers need to carefully choose what technology to be used in his or her class. If the technology is glitchy and problematic or just too difficult for the students and you teacher to navigate, you run the risk of running into a dead end. We want students to struggle productively, and frustration can be okay if the work interests them, but we don't want to lose them because the tool keeps halting their progress. So the next question is, will my students find this technology boring after the initial exposure? So new technology can indeed grab the attention of our students, but how quickly will that wear off? We also need to consider this question when choosing the right technology for our lesson. Next, how will this technology empower students to control their own learning? So, one of the goals of great learning environments should always be the empowerment of students. Thus, the technology help them ask and pursue their beautiful questions, or is it limiting students? Integrating technology in education must promote independent learning among students. Next question, is this a toy or a tool? So one of the most addicting and greatest thing about technology is when it's new. Teachers oftentimes get into trouble when they fall into the trap of new technology because they fail to ask themselves one question. Is it right for my classrooms? So for my classroom, I mean. So planning is essential to your success of any classroom technology and integration. You'll never know if those iPads were a good idea if you can only use them at a one time because your network can't keep up. So picking the right technology for your class takes research and a lot of planning. You are looking for technology that promotes the whole classroom experience simple, no, and focuses on the solution. So when you keep that in your mind, you'll end up choosing technology that has real value and actually works. So how long will this technology be relevant and supported? So the speed at which technology evolves is staggering. And while it's not likely that your device or tools will be outdated in a lesson or even in a school year, where there are instances where resources go away unexpectedly. So more likely is not having the technology support in the event of problems or needed updates either internally or externally. So will all my students be able to access this technology? So, two broad areas of potential technology pain points are connectivity issues and access to the technology. So, some students struggle to use certain technology tools that might hinder their learning. So, in choosing technology to be used, teachers need to think of accessibility of students to that particular technology. High-speed internet may not be an option in all of the town where students live. So instructors should keep this in mind when planning and delivering content. For some students, required virtual meetings or hours of video watching will require them to drive to neighboring towns or sit in the parking lot of a business with an open access Wi-Fi. So will this technology threaten children's security? So children can benefit from technology by gaining new learning opportunities. However, technology can also be harmful to our children. With the recent reopening of schools, most of the schools around the world promotes ICT integration in the classroom, which means even more time in front of the screens. So the DQ Institute already sounded the alarm after carrying out a study on the safety and risk faced by children on the internet. So this study reveals that 60% of children aged 8 to 12 are exposed to one or more threats in the virtual world like cyberbullying, exposure to violent and sexual content, and online addiction. So there are so many new technology out there, and as teachers, both you and I know that we are under pressure from the society and our government to try new things. However, you can have the latest and greatest technology and yet be unsuccessful in integrating it. Effective ICT integration in education cannot be achieved without you. And it certainly won't occur if you just send your students to the computer lab to learn ICT skills while you do something else. So these are the questions that we have to put in our mind no, when integrating instruction ICT in our teaching. So that ends my presentation. The next presentation is all about the some examples of ICT integration in mathematics instruction by Mom or Mr. Chelgumbo.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. I hope our participants learned something new from you. And there is a question in the comment box that what is that Lumi sir Fernando all about? I don't know what is the meaning of it.
What's the questions?
Okay, ma'am, we after our second speaker presentation and quiz competition, we come back again with our same question. Okay, ma'am? Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Dear participants, now we welcome our next speaker. Our next speaker name is Sarsil Gambo. She is a teacher of Malawi National High School from Philippines. Let's we welcome our second speaker. Hello,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. Good morning or good day to everyone. I am Miss Churchill Sigumbok, and I will proceed with some of the examples of instructional materials with ICT integration. I am glad to share and present to you the support instructional materials in teaching mathematics that we had made with the aid of ICT, and we had used this one to our respective classes even before pandemic happens and even during the pandemic since we had shifted to distance learning delivery modality. The first one is a PowerPoint gamification entitled A or B. This is made using a predefined template which makes teachers' preparation of the instructional material a bit easier and faster. As I use this during my online class, students would guess if the answer or if the right answer is A or B. So let us take a look at an example. We have here the first one. We have a text written in the upper portion of the presentation and then two choices, either A or B. So if this text would refer to an arithmetic sequence or a geometric sequence, then the student can click either A or B. If it is A, then there is a sound which would indicate that that is the right answer. If it is B, another sound that would indicate that it is not the right answer. Second one, so the same, another text, and then you could compare if this one would illustrate an arithmetic sequence, an geometric sequence, which is one of the topics in mathematics, the sequences. So if it is A, correct, while B, not. Third one, so if it is A, there is a sound which doesn't agree that it is not that it is the correct answer. While if it is B, and the rest of the examples or the rest of the slides would have the same instructions to the students would guess if it is A or B for the correct answer. As I had said earlier, this one is a predefined template. Therefore, we teachers, if we opted to use this one in our class, which would we think that this one is fitted to any of the topics there, then we would just simply change the text on the upper part portion of this presentation, and then we will indicate the right choice if it is, or the terms for the right choices if it is A or B. So you can add as many slides as you can, or you can limit to depending upon the appropriateness of this material to your mathematics lesson. So for this presentation, I had approximately 10 questions or 10 slides for this activity. Then you can also have the motivational part if your students did great. So the second one is a picture reveal. This can be used by the teacher in the beginning of the class, say for example in the motivational part, or even in any other appropriate activity during the lesson proper. This picture reveal has different levels. The first level has numbers 1 to 9, and the second level has numbers 1 to 18, and so on. And the students could choose any number that could disappear. If the learners had guessed already the picture, then you can simply click the picture to reveal it. So for example, if we wanted to shift from the traditional use of flashcards into this one in, say, for example, revealing certain pictures or illustrations in our topics in mathematics, then we can have here, now, we wanted to reveal the picture, then we can press any number, or the students can choose any number, like for example, 2, or say 6. They can just choose it randomly, say 7. And having that clue already, then they can probably already identify the picture. And then you can just click on the picture itself to let other numbers disappear, just like this one. Okay, and there is also a sound. So another level, we have here up to number 36. So instead of, say, for example, letting our students choose any number randomly, they can choose to let the even numbers, or say the odd numbers, or the multiples of 2, or even the multiples of 4 to disappear, so that by having the objective to reveal the picture, at the same time we can also inculcate to our students some of the examples of specific numbers that we had in mathematics. So as I had mentioned earlier, this one is also a predefined template. Therefore, we can just click any number here, and then in doing this material, you can change from the given template. You can just right click on the image and change the picture, and automatically you had something to be used, or your students had something to look up to when you have this picture reveal in our respective classes. The third one is what we called a balloon game. Students can choose what number they wanted to answer. If it is correct, then no balloon will be taken away. Otherwise, they might fall down once all balloons were taken. We can then reward students who had more balloons left or serves as the winner of this game. Then encourage students or other students to study even more so that they can get the right answers too. So for this one, I had used this as a drill to my students. Say for example, if they had chosen 6, then your question here, if you wanted to pose a certain question or a statement, to fill in the blank, or just like this, which are all related to math, then they can have their answers. If it is another one, then you can have 8, so it will flash another item. If we will choose 3, then that is 0 times 9. So if it is incorrect, we can let the balloons flew away. And then we can also press this yellow balloon with an arrow if some of the answers are incorrect and that one. So having this in our classrooms would, especially if it is game based, using this ICT would make our learning even more fun and challenging. However, let us remember that incorporating a well designed game based characteristics and elements in any part of math lessons can make learning even more fun and engaging. The first 3 examples that I had shared are made using a predefined template for PowerPoint gamification, which we had obtained from one of our trainings under the Basic Open Educational Resources taught to us here in the Department of Education by taught to us here to our fellow teachers by the DepEd, or the Department of Education in the Philippines Educational Technology Unit, on one of the webinars they had conducted during the pandemic time. The next sample is applicable to lessons in mathematics pertaining to graphs, for example, especially the behavior of the graphs of quadratic functions. These can be taught and discussed with the aid of mathematics software application like the Desmos. It can be downloaded from an app store. So here, instead of having the um, traditional writing board or chalkboard and then creating there the graph manually, then provided we have the resources, we have the appropriate gadgets to be used, so as with our students, then we can investigate the case, for example, of a quadratic function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and what happens to its graph as the value of A increases or the value of A decreases. So our discussion to these topics would even be more meaningful provided we will be using certain applications in our mathematics instruction. So this one is for another case of um, quadratic function also, which uses Desmos. The last one is, or the last example is one of my output in another training attended under the DepEd Educational Technology Unit here in the Philippines. This application is developed whose content is about a lesson in math, specifically arithmetic sequence. Once the Android application was made and will be sent to the students, they can manipulate, answer, and perform the activities on their own, provided that students too have their gadgets or teachers too have the means of distributing this one either in an online manner or in an offline manner. So kindly take a look how this application works. So we have there incorporated different activities, and by letting the students open the application, they can answer on their own the different activities that were given to them by their teacher. So this even becomes more interactive as students navigate on their own the math application, which is related to their mathematics lesson. So there it goes. Engaging students to this for sure will make learning fun, meaningful, and worthwhile. These are some of the few examples that I had. However, with the advent of technology, it opens a wide variety of materials that we can use and we can make to make our teaching learning process even more efficient and effective. Before we end, let me leave you with this quotation. The technology you can use impresses no one. The experience you create with it is everything. That is according to Sean Gearty. This one is the link for our PPT gamifications. And actually, there are some other templates there that we can for sure use in our mathematics instruction. How to use and navigate each template were also incorporated on each of the comments or notes in the PowerPoint itself. These are some of the references that we had used in our discussion together with Mom Christelle. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, ma'am, for your marvelous presentation. Ma'am, now we are proceed to our quiz competition, and after that we come back again with our another speaker in our question and answer session. Okay, ma'am? Dear participants, now we are going to our quiz competition session. Our quiz code is IGP quiz. Let's enjoy our quiz video. Dear participants, now we are in quiz competition session time. You can join this session by slido.com. And today our quiz code is IGP quiz. The code is IGP quiz. You can also session by slido.com, and the quiz code is IGP quiz. You can also click the link which is already given in the comment box, then you can join this session. And you can scan our QR code from the screen to join this live quiz session. Top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. I remind you that there is no relationship between quiz completion certificate and international webinar certificate. After our question and answer session, we share our international webinar certificate code. I request everyone to join with your full name, which will directly pin on your quiz certificate. We start our quiz competition after 2 minutes later. So join, be hurry up, and don't forget to mention your friends in the comment box. Already 42 participants join with us. We start our quiz competition after 1 minute later. Dear participants, we start our quiz competition now. Our first question is ICT integration in pedagogy refers to using ICT everywhere or right selection of ICT based on content and context. Option number 2, right selection of ICT based on content and context is the right answer. Our next question is some software for ICT integration, teaching, learning, GeoGebra or Audacity. Option number 1, GeoGebra is the right answer. Our next question is which learning model does ICT integration depends on? Is it TPSK or TPD? TPSK, option number 1 is the right answer. Our next question is integration of ICT is the best option for teaching all concepts. The statement is true or false? The statement is false. Our next question is, which one of the following is not a standard in mathematics curriculum design? Is it fraction or measurement? Option number 1, fraction is the right answer. Our next question is, ICT is termed as Internet Computer Technology or Information Communication Technology. Option number 2, Information Communication Technology is the right answer. Our next question is, science does not believe in values. The statement is true or false? The statement is false. Our next question is, GeoGebra is subject specific ICT tool for chemistry or mathematics? Option number 2, mathematics is the right answer. Our second last question is, which of the following is a software related to the pedagogy of mathematics? Is it GeoGebra or Calgium? Option number 1, GeoGebra is the right answer. Our last and final question is, when teaching learning of early mathematics is taking place, research should focus on all-around development with outcomes. Is it related to science and ICT or science, social science, and language? Science, social science, and languages is the right answer. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations of our top 10 quiz competition winners. Top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. Our Facebook page address is Institute of Global Professionals. On the leaderboard, now the top position is Sri-Lanka Lydia Matusi, and the second one is Lyson Muniandi, and the third one is Atlantina Shibu, and the fourth one is Celine and Infante, and the following Zikiar Kolima, Ellen Bruta, Zinalin Rivera, Ashok Kumar Odigari, Jigme Dorji, and the last one is Jamiang Lamo. Thank you everyone for participating in this quiz session. Top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session. Now we are proceed to our Q&A session. After a short video please, we come back again with our speaker. Dear participants, now we are question and answer session time. You can send your question in the comment box. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Our first question is, ma'am Crystal, how effective is ICT integration in mathematics instruction?
Okay. So first, we can say that ICT integration in mathematics instruction is effective when we achieve our academic goal. So how effective is ICT integration? It is very effective because it catches the attention of our students because mathematics is a very hard subject. So using ICT integration, students will enjoy our lesson and they will learn, our discussion and at the same time enjoy our discussion using ICT.
Thank you. Ma'am Sarsil, you can also add something. Ma'am Sarsil, do you want to add something?
That's all, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Our next question is, good day to all of you. May we have a soft copy of your presentation for today? It is okay. Thank you in advance. Oh, they want your PPT file.
So we can give our soft copy in the siguro sa ano na lang in the Google Drive that Ma'am Churchill have given a while ago. We will upload our presentation there.
Okay. Dear
May
participants,
I
we are
answer?
still waiting. Okay, ma'am. Tell me.
On the later part of the presentation earlier, we had there the Google Drive link for the predefined templates. So for the whole presentation itself, if you wanted to have a copy, we may also upload it there, or might as well
Okay, ma'am.
input it.
You can give me the
Right.
link in my private chat
Okay.
box. I also share it in the comment box.
Okay, sir. Okay po.
Dear participants, we are still waiting for your question. If you have any question related to this topic, you can ask the question in the comment box. Dear participants, we are still waiting for your question. Thank you, ma'am. I hope there is no more question. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Oh, we have a question, ma'am. The question is, ma'am, Sarsil, what ICT games can you recommend me in a kindergarten learner?
Um, there is this tic-tac-toe. I think we can also have those picture reveal for the kindergarten classes. At the same time, we can also have that um, other predefined templates which can be found on the link. Say, for example, we have there um, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or or tic-tac-toe, and other related games there. We could just suit the level of the questions, suit the level of the items that we wanted to have, f- uh, that we wanted to play with as a game to our kindergarten classes. We can just differ them with the different difficulty. So again, we can have the picture reveal. We can also have that balloon game for the kindergarten classes, and might as well you can explore the other PT ICT related games on the different lanes that we have, which can suit or which will be appropriate for our kindergarten learners.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation and wonderful your answering the question. And thank you, our active participants. So, ma'am, what is your last and final words for our audience?
So thank you everyone for listening, and I would like to thank Sir Sherwin for this opportunity, no, to talk to this international webinar. And also, sir, thank you for our host.
Thank you, IGP, or Institute of Global Professionals, so as with the rest of the participants who had view or who had attended this webinar. We hope that you had learned something from us. At the same time, we also thank the PED EdTech unit, because some of the examples that we have presented are what we also learned from the different webinars and trainings they had conducted, which we had luckily attended to. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Dear participants, today our program name is ICT Integration in Mathematics Instruction. And today our webinar code is IGP0392. The code is IGP0392. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate. With code, you can claim your certificate anytime from our website. Our website address is eduicp.com. To download your certificate, first of all, you have to go to our website. Then you have to create an account, and after that you have to enroll the program, and our program name is ICT Integration in Mathematics Instruction. And after that you have to put the code, and the code is IGP0392. And finally you can download your certificate. After downloading your certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP segment. Thank you everyone for participating in this session and make this webinar successful. Before ending the program, I request everyone you like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel for upcoming information. Thank you everyone. I hope you learned something new from this session. Stay happy and stay safe.